Here I am back with episode 16 of Desert Island Discs, where I take a look at one of my shelves and we take a look at all of the titles on that shelf, and then I choose that one film that over all the others I would pick. And let all the others go, if that makes sense. And while I'm doing this, I want you to take a look through the shelf yourself, have a look at what titles I have on this shelf, pick the one that you would pick over all the others if you had to, and then we can discuss them. And while we're moving along, why not try and pick what I'm going to pick? See if you know me and how well you know me, and just let me know as the videos roll in what you think I'm going to go with. So let's get into it. I've adjusted the camera, yes, and we're going to be taking a look at this shelf up here, up the top. N's and O's by the looks of it. Now, if you've not subscribed to the channel, then please consider doing so. Hit the subscribe button, come and join proceedings, because every 2 weeks I am bringing you one of these videos, and I will continue and work my way through my entire collection of film and possibly TV as well at the end. Why not do it with TV? But that will be sometime in the future. So let's just get into proceedings and take a look at what films we have on the shelf. But there's a couple of collectibles up here. Just two this time, nothing more than a little Tron bike. A little bit dusty, I know. This is from the Tron sequel. And another one there as well. Just sat free on the shelf. So that's it for collectibles on that shelf. So let's get into what we have here. So there's only one film sat flat along the top, and that is, I've still got stickers on it, me and my stickers. That is Jet Li's The One. I picked this up in CEX. Jason Statham also stars in this film as well. And I'll be honest, it's a film that I've not watched in some considerable time, but I remember enjoying it. So that was that one. Just that one, the one. So let's get into what we have here. Okay, so first up, and this one's still sealed and it feels stuck. And what do we have here? We have Kevin Costner and The New Daughter. Now, I picked this up very cheap and I still haven't watched it. So much so, in fact, that I forgot that it was up there. So this is obviously not a film that I'm going to pick, because how can I? The intense pulse-pounding thriller. The New Daughter. How far will a father go to protect the ones he loves? Have you seen this film? Is it any good? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now we're moving into Nicolas Cage territory with National Treasure. The very first National Treasure film. My DVD is floating around in there as well. But I also have National Treasure 2 from Disney. I think it's a bit of a travesty that we did never get a third film, but we did get a TV series. Then we have Nocturnal Animals, starring Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, it was Amy Adams that drew me towards this film because I like Amy Adams as an actress. I think she's very good. No Escape, starring Owen Wilson, Lake Bell and Pierce Brosnan. Interestingly, Lake Bell voices Poison Ivy in the Harley Quinn animated Max TV show. It's nice to see Owen Wilson in a bit of action. I thought he was pretty good in Behind Enemy Lines, and after that I thought I wouldn't mind seeing him in more of an action film. He'd done action comedy, but he never really done any more action. Pierce Brosnan stars in that as well. It was okay. I can't remember it that well. Then we have Ben Stiller in Night in the Museum 1 and 2. And Amy Adams steals the show in the second one. Yeah, it's okay. They're quite fun films, family films. Turn the light down a little bit, that was very bright. There we go, that's better. Night in the Museum 1 and 2, and obviously Night in the Museum Part 3. Secret of the Tomb. There's that scene where Hugh Jackman does a cameo in that, doesn't he? He does indeed. Then we have a rather underrated film, I think, and I enjoy this film. I don't know why it's still sealed, but obviously I've seen it a couple of times. And that is The Nice Guys from Shane Black. Yeah, Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. Yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. So I can probably pick this up for like a couple of quid in CEX now, and it's sealed. I obviously bought it brand new when it came out, and I've still not watched it again yet. Never buy brand new. Seriously. Then we have Notting Hill with Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts. Classic rom-com. Good film. Liam Neeson in Non-Stop. Action thriller that he'd done that, I'll be honest, I can't really remember it that well. A lot of his films kind of mould together, these action thrillers that he's done of late. National Security, Martin Lawrence and Steve Zahn. I didn't mind liking Martin Lawrence in comedies. I thought he was pretty good. This and Blue Streak, both this and Blue Streak I quite enjoyed. I don't think I've got Blue Streak. Then we have another one with Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams, James Garner, Gina Rowlands in The Notebook. It was alright. Again, a film I enjoyed. Now this is still sealed, and this is Nurse 3D. I actually have a steelbook for this as well. Nurse 3D, which is like a horror kind of esque movie, I suppose, of some sort. Strong violence, sexualised violence, blood and gore and sex scenes. Your pain is her pleasure. Scrub up and prep yourself for a mind-altering new cult obsession. Nurse 3D, deftly combining dark and deadly eroticism of Dexter, Black Swan, Fatal Attraction and Wild Things. This is a wicked new breed of horror thriller. I cannot recommend it to you. And then we have a German release, this one, of 3 Naked Gun movies. Naked Gun 1, 2 and 3. I've got my old Blu-rays in there as well, and they're all squeezed onto one disc. Naked Gun trilogy. First one, a very, very funny film. Very funny. Laugh out loud funny it was. Then we have Need for Speed. Poundland pickup. Cheap. Nicolas Cage in Next. Wasn't it all a dream at the end? I think it was. I have a steelbook for this as well. Really nice steelbook actually. And this is Disney's The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. The Nutcracker. Then we have Nikita. Luc Besson. I even like the TV shows. La Femme Nikita, which ran for 5 seasons and starred Petter Wilson, and Maggie Q done Nikita, which lasted for 4 seasons. I have them respectively on DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah, and the film's good as well. Obviously there is a remake version as well, The Assassin, or whatever it was called. There's a couple of titles on that one. And then we have, hold on a minute, I ain't still peeled the stickers off of this. I picked it up for $3.99. Night of the Animated Dead. And do you know what? I've not watched it yet. Why haven't I watched this yet? I don't know. Night of the Animated Dead. How long is it? 71 minutes. I'm going to have to watch that. I'm going to leave that out. One to watch. And I left the Kevin Costner one out. I will leave that out because I'm going to watch them. Anyway. Next up is still sealed, Now You See Me. I don't have the sequel. I don't feel the need to have the sequel. It was okay. That's all I'll say. This one's still got a sticker on it as well. Blimey. I'm really bad with these, peeling these CEX stickers off. I truly am. Oh, what a nightmare. Okay, so you can see the title properly and see if I can get the round sticker off or if that's going to cause me any issues. It's caused me no issues whatsoever. So this one here is The Night of the Comet. Sort of classic. Comes with the book inside as well from Arrow. 2 discs, DVD and the Blu-ray. It was the last thing on earth they ever expected. Then we have stickers, bloody stickers. The Next 3 Days with Russell Crowe. This was a rental copy version, apparently, by all accounts, according to the top of it. Stickers. I really need to start peeling these off before I even put the films away. I don't know. What am I like? Okay, moving on. We have the Oceans 11, 12 and 13. Oceans 11, 12 and 13. There we go. In a 3-box set. And obviously we have Oceans 8 as well, the female-led centric Oceans movie, led by Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Mindy Kaling, Sarah Paulson, Awkwafina, Rihanna and Helena Bonham Carter. So some decent actresses therein. But was the film any good? Then we have The Other Guys, and I love this film. I think it's really funny. I think it's really good. I like Will Ferrell. I quite like Mark Wahlberg. Very funny film. And I've got Old School in there for some reason. Yeah, very, very funny. Very funny. I love it. Then we have Operation Mincemeat. Colin Firth in this retelling of just a true story. It's been made before. I can't remember the original film's title off the top of my head. The Man Who Never Was or something like that, was it? Or am I thinking of something else? But anyway, yes, Operation Mincemeat. And this film here I love as well. This is a German release. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? With George Clooney. Now obviously this is a Coen Brothers film. The Coen Brothers are very good. It's got a great cast to it. It shows George Clooney's comedic side. George Clooney's got really good comedic timing. And this is just a thoroughly enjoyable film. And my old DVD is kicking around in there as well. We've upgraded it. Yes. Soggy Bottom Boys. Very good film. Now we have Tom Cruise in Oblivion. This isn't the first time I've had this film. I picked it up again like this, cheap, because I hated that case that I had, the white border case with the almost like frame. I hated it. One of the worst cases in the history of. There we go. Then we have Josh Brolin in the remake of The Old Boy, or Old Boy, not The Old Boy, Old Boy. I didn't mind it. I've never seen the original, believe it or not. I haven't. Then we have Occupation, which is a sci-fi film. The Conquest Begins, Occupation, and the sequel, Occupation Rainfall. Yeah. We have Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Now I do have the others. the other two films. Not on Blu-ray though. I've got a lovely DVD set that was gifted to me a while back by Jimmy over at Jimmy Boys Movies, which is further round down there. Yeah, it contains the other two in that, I believe. Yes, it does. So that gives me the three of them. Then we have Oculus, and I still yet to watch this. I haven't watched it. And this stars, what's her face? Karen Gillan from Doctor Who, Guardians of the Galaxy, Karen Gillan. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. What can I say about this film? What can I say about this film that hasn't been said already? And we have Olympus Has Fallen. London Has Fallen, which is a horrendous sequel. Geography-wise, for London, I live in London. This is hideous for the geography of London. You know, I don't know how people live in LA when they see Jack Bauer running around, if it's the same kind of feeling they get. But, you know, it's like, well, why are you going in that direction and ending up here? The idea that I'm meant to believe that everyone in London is against him, all these people have infiltrated the police and in running around in police. It's a hideous film. Hideous film. And then we have Angel Has Fallen, the third in the trilogy of films. Now, interestingly, obviously this came out at the same time as White House Down, and I prefer White House Down to this film. I think White House Down is the stronger of the two films. Now, I understand why this film is preferred by many, because this gets straight into the action from the get-go. But if you watch White House Down and you compare it to Die Hard, and I'm not saying compare it to Die Hard as in, you know, is it as good as Die Hard? I'm talking about structurally, how it is structured, how it spends time creating its characters, creating its setup and all this. It has much more akin of an older school storytelling and filmmaking than what this does. And I appreciate that somewhat more, because it took its time. So don't say that I'm not comparing White House Down to Die Hard. There's no comparison. Die Hard's one film in my top 10 movies of all time. That being said, I think White House Down is the far superior film to this one. But I understand audiences gravitating towards this one because attention spans have slipped and people like action, 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 and give them a bit of story and they're a little bit like confused and bored. So anyway, next up we have Outland with Sean Connery, and do you know what, this is a great film. It really does feel like it fits within that Alien and Blade Runner universe aesthetically. It really could be part of that, as in, you know, you could interconnect all these films and say they're all happening in the same world. And we have Outlander with Jim Caviezel. Jesus Christ. He was Jesus Christ in The Passion of the Christ. And he was in the fantastic TV series Person of Interest, which ran for 5 seasons. And it is a fabulous, fabulous show. And Outlander, yeah, it was okay. It was about a spaceman who come and landed on Earth during like Viking times, I believe, if I recall. We have another Kevin Costner one here. This is a hideous cover. It truly is. Open Range. Look at that. Look at that image. That's awful. Horrible. But anyway, yeah, Open Range. I know we did get a release of this in this country. Why not German one? There we go. And then we have here, what do we have? Observe and Report with Seth Rogen. And I had fun with this film. I did. Not a great film, but I had fun with it. Sorry, the tortoise is trying to tip things over. Wow, I didn't know tortoise was as strong as that. He's just literally pushed himself under a table where there's a bar and lifted the table. Amazing. There we go. So Observe and Report was that one. And then we have Once Upon a Time in America. Now this is the extended cut of the film. This is a version that I imported because the UK extended cut of the film is very expensive to get hold of. Nice gold case on that one. Then we have Overlord. I can't really remember it, but it was a fun movie. The Other Women, still sealed. I have seen it. Can't really remember it, but it was going for £1, so thusly I picked it up. And that's £2 on it, but when when Poundland started getting rid of physical media, they dropped these to £1. Then we have George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez in Out of Sight. Film I haven't seen in quite some considerable amount of time. It's a Steven Soderbergh film. Now, a film with a great cast, and about 3 years ago, it had a revival of interest, this movie, because of goings on. That is Outbreak. It's the German version. And, yeah, it probably was because of COVID that I sought it out and picked it up. I remember it when it first came out. I remember watching it, quite enjoyed it. Dustin Hoffman I like, Morgan Freeman, how can you not like? And I like Rene Russo. I like Rene Russo as an actress. She's pretty damn good. Then we have Outlaw. Now this is a film that bugs me that I have in the collection because I like Sean Bean. I do like Sean Bean. But I dislike, with a vengeance, Danny Dyer. I think he's hideous. I think he's awful. I think he's a horrendous actor. Now I have a couple of films with him in the collection, so I have to weigh up when I get a film with him in. I have to weigh up the pros and cons. In this one it's Sean Bean, Danny Dyer, don't get it, Danny Dyer, Sean Bean, get it, don't get it, get it, don't. It's like that. And the only other one I have with him in, I believe, is I can't remember the name of it. It begins with S. Under the S section. Stars Gillian Anderson. It's Gillian Anderson. Then we have The Old Guard, which is the Charlize Theron. I believe there is a sequel coming to this as well very soon. Netflix movie. Yeah, it was okay. It's actually based upon a comic book that was published under Image Comics. I do have maybe the first half a dozen issues of it. I didn't keep up with it, but yeah, so The Old Guard. And then the last title up here, and this is still sealed as well, and it stars Scott Eastwood, the son of Clint, and it is Overdrive. And again, one I would have picked up for £1 or £2, I don't know. I think it was £1 when they were getting rid of them for £1. I've not watched it yet, so I cannot comment upon this movie. So there we go. That was this shelf. That was everything on the shelf. And now I'm going to pick for you the film that I would take with me. So out of all the films on this shelf, what would you take? What's that one film above all the others? If your house was burning down, you could only grab one film off of this shelf, what would it be? If you were going to be stranded on a desert island, you could only pick one of these films to go with you off of this shelf. What film would it be? Now, you can't say, I'll take the 3-pack of Oceans. That's cheating. You can't say, I'll take the discs with Night in the Museum 1 and 2 on. We're talking about an individual movie. You can only pick one film. What film here would it be that you take with you? Your device only has enough space on it to upload one movie, one of these films. What film would it be? Give me your answer, and I'll give you mine now. Okay, so I do have a kind of runner-up here. Now, my runner-up, because sometimes I do a runner-up, a film that I like, and it's kind of like, oh, I'm sad that I've got to let you go. And there's not many on this shelf, really, at all, that I would list under that. I'm having a quick look now, and probably the only one that I would regret leaving for my #1 spot is Notting Hill. Now, Notting Hill is probably one of my favourite romantic comedies ever made. and it did fall into my my 30-day film challenge. It was one of the titles that I picked there, as is the next one, my winner. So this is, you know, well, it's a fairy tale story, but with a role reversal. You've got, you know, you everyman. You've got the everyman, you've got the big film actress. So who doesn't sort of like, wouldn't have a fairy tale dream of their favourite actress knocking on their door, coming into their shop, bumping into them in the street, and you kind of forming a relationship with them, and them becoming part of your life, or you becoming part of their life. It's that fairy tale element to it that you gravitate towards, and in that it is a really good film, and I love it. But that's not the film that I'd be taking with me. No. You can probably guess there's only one film really on this shelf that I would say is worth that title of overall pick, and it's not going to surprise anyone. Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Now this film came out in 1975, and at the Oscars it went up against Jaws, and this film won essentially. And you know, Jaws is my favourite film of all time, but this here is a fantastic movie. It's a very powerful film in the story that it tells, with some fantastic performances, and you've got you know, you've got a fantastic cast. You've got Jack Nicholson there, you've got Christopher Lloyd, you've got Danny DeVito, you've got Louise Fletcher. I had to have a look, I can't remember her first name, as Nurse Ratched, and it's, you know, this is a solid film. You've got Brad Dourif in it as well, the voice of Chucky. He's also been in Chucky as well. In the Child's Play films, he was himself to start with, and he's popped up since. But anyway, it won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture that year, and yes, it is a great film. And I was kind of introduced to this at a very, very young age, an age where I probably couldn't even understand the movie effectively, but yet I knew what I was watching was something good, and I wanted to watch it time and time again. And only now in my later years, I mean, a few decades ago, do you really understand the story and what's given you, and the character motivations and all this sort of stuff. And it is a good film, and so that's my pick. That is my pick for number one. That is the one film on this shelf that I'd pick over all others. And there we go, another shelf done. And something just fell on the floor, and I'm hoping it isn't broken. And it is it's not broken, thank God. What fell off the floor from the other side as I pushed that in was actually a model of the NX-01 starship from Star Trek Enterprise, the Scott Bakula led Star Trek prequel series that lasted for 4 seasons. It's a wonder one of them nacelles didn't drop off then, but there we go. Luckily it's all in one piece. Oh, my back's killing me today. But there we go. So that's that shelf done, over and done with. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next one, which will be this shelf here, inevitably. Before I then probably jump back into, I'll do 1 or 2 more shelves before I jump back into a steelbook shelf. We'll see how it goes. But there we go. I look forward to your pick.